Hey guys, be sure to visit my Facebook page store where you can buy anything figure related directly from me. I have a wide variety of figures, accessories, anything ranging from Hot Toys to SH Figuarts, Figma, and third-party items as well. All you have to do is message me on Facebook, visit my Facebook page for more info. I'll leave a link in the description below. How's it going, my fellow collectors? I'm back again with yet another Hot Toys video review. This time, it's of the Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the regular version, not the deluxe version that comes with the holographic table and the baby Luke Skywalker. I got this figure about 2 days ago in the mail, and we'll go ahead and get this review going with the first category, of course, being the source information. Now, I did already talk about the movie in the Hot Toys review of the regular version of Anakin Skywalker. The one I have right here is the dark side version, but I did at one point own the regular version, so if you look up the review I did on that figure, you'll see my thoughts on the movie. I will say that it was my favorite among the prequels for a number of different factors. One being, we actually get to see the fall of Anakin Skywalker to the dark side finally in that movie. Another factor is that we see epic showdowns between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and we also see a showdown between Darth Sidious and Yoda. So that's why I really like that movie. So just like I gave the score for the source information on the regular version Anakin Skywalker, I gave it a 8 out of 10. So that's what this category is going to get here. 8 out of 10. I'll go ahead and talk you through this pose. This is a pose that he did at least twice in this movie. Whenever he's pondering and thinking, he has a tendency to grab his beard. The first time he did this was right before he jumped into the middle of the Separatist army on planet Utapau, just before he confronted Grievous. Right before he says, "Hello there." And the second time he did this pose was right after he delivered baby Luke to the Lars family on Tatooine. So, as I said before, this figure is not the deluxe version, it's the regular version. I just really don't have any room to display the holographic table with the holograms of Anakin and Darth Sidious. And the baby Luke I really don't care much for, so I'm not gonna cry about that. The holograms do look pretty cool though, but I only have so much space. I gotta save room for the Qui-Gon Jinn figure, the Darth Maul figure, that's gonna be released in about a month over here in the States. And don't forget Yoda as well, so I gotta save room for all of them, so I don't have any cramped spaces. I mean, the Emperor Palpatine, his throne barely fits in the Detolf. Once you put the throne in, there's only space for about 2 more figures in that same shelf. Alright guys, so that wraps up the category of source information, and now we're going to move on to the next category, which is packaging. So stick around. Alright, now we've made it to the category of packaging. I'm going to try to go through this real quick. As usual, we have the usual themed Hot Toys Star Wars boxes with the black and gray colors. You get the V shape again going down the center of the box. And then in the middle, you get the character In this case, it's Obi-Wan. It's an image of the figure. This time they did it something a little bit differently. They put a sash on the front cover that goes all the way around. All these images on the box of the figure are the prototype images of the figure because it's got the better looking head sculpt. But we'll get more into that later on in the review. Right below the front center image, you get the Star Wars logo, and it's got a chrome finish. On the very bottom right hand corner, you get the Hot Toys logo, and on the very bottom left corner, you get the movie Masterpiece logo. On the sash, it says Star Wars MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi 1/6 scale collectible figure. And on one side, you get another image of the Obi-Wan Kenobi prototype figure. And right behind the sash, it says Star Wars. Below that, it says MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi 1/6 scale collectible figure. And on the left of that, you get the Disney logo. Nothing on the top. The other side is the same thing. On the sash, it says MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi 1/6 scale collectible figure. Below that, you get the Hot Toys logo. Right behind the sash, it says Star Wars again, and right below that, it says MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi 1/6 scale collectible figure. Nothing on the top again. And then on the top of the box, you get the Star Wars logo. And on the bottom, again, the Star Wars logo. And then on the back, on the very top, it says Hot Toys Presents Movie Masterpiece Series, and then you get the Movie Masterpiece logo. MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi 1/6 scale collectible figure. You get the Hot Toys logo with the Hot Toys information, the Rebel Base logo with the Rebel Base information, the Secret Base logo with the Secret Base information, the Toy Hunters logo with the Toy Hunters information, and then you get your warnings and whatever that nobody really reads. And on the very bottom, you get the barcode. And then once you open it, it's like a shoebox style design. You get a slip cover on the inside of the image of the prototype Obi-Wan Kenobi Hot Toys figure in a fighting pose with the Hot Toys Anakin figure. And then on the bottom it says Star Wars MMS 477 Obi-Wan Kenobi 1/6 scale collectible figure. And then when you remove the slip cover, you get a blister showing the figure and all of its accessories. All in all, pretty basic with a few minor changes. Pretty in theme with the rest of the Star Wars figure boxes. The slipcover image is kind of cool, so I'll give it points for that, and also the sash that goes around the box. So it's going to get slightly higher than the average Star Wars box. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Alright guys, stick around and we'll head to the next category. Alright, and now we've made it to the category in which this figure had the most controversy on, which is likeness. Now, I have seen the production photos and JC Hong's Facebook posts of the first reveal of the Obi-Wan Kenobi head sculpt. And I agree with the majority of what people say. On the likeness, this figure could have been better. I mean, it does look a lot better in hand than what you see in videos and pictures on the internet. Even this video that you're seeing right now, it does look a lot better seeing it in real life than what you see right now. So I'm not saying that it's bad. It's pretty good. But as you guys saw on the box images of the prototype figure, it could have been that quality. Like, it could have been that good. But rumor is, because of licensing issues, they had to change the likeness. So they changed the color of the hair and the beard. They took out some wrinkles. And I think they changed the skin tone too, if I'm not mistaken. So this is what we got instead of that. And I'll try to put a comparison here. So from about there, so yeah, it's not bad, like I said, but it could have been better. I mean, this does look like Ewan McGregor, but this looks like a CG rendition of him. Like an in game cinematic version of Ewan McGregor playing as Obi-Wan Kenobi. If this figure was based off of the real life, this figure would have looked like what it looked like in the production images and the prototype images as well. I'm going to put some pictures up of some side-by-side comparisons between this figure and the prototype head sculpts that first came out. So, as you can see, the prototype figure looks leagues upon leagues better than the final product figure. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 97% accuracy. So it's almost excellent. I mean, it's almost 100%. But unfortunately, just fell a little short. And it's probably true that there were licensing issues. But given the fact that Hot Toys could have done better, that's what brought down this score. But I'm still satisfied with this head sculpt. It's still a good head sculpt. So I'll talk you guys through this pose. I have him about to square off with Anakin over here. I know you guys recognize where this scene is coming from, where Obi-Wan is about to ignite his lightsaber. And Obi-Wan is conflicted, like he doesn't really want to do it, but he doesn't really have a choice. So he says, I shall do what I must. So for the likeness, I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, so stick with me and we'll roll on to the next category. Okay, so now we've made it to the category of outfit. And once again, Hot Toys did an outstanding job. Attention to every conceivable detail. As usual. I don't know if it's just me, but I do see some weathering on the tunic, like in these areas here. It just looks like there's some wear to it, like dirt or something. It's not 100% clean. It is pretty similar to Anakin's tunic. There is some wiring going through the skirt piece, like right here. And also in these sections of the shoulders. Running down the back and the chest. On both sides, that side and the other side. He's also got some wires running through the cuffs on his sleeves, on the end of his sleeves of the tunic. They got wires in them just like Anakin. And the wiring on the skirt goes all the way around just like Anakin as well. And these pieces here don't have any wires, they just fall naturally. And the boots are really nice, but there's something about them that just look cheap. I don't know if it's the stitching work that's been done on it or what. They're made of a faux leather material. And it's all one piece, it's not cut at the ankle. So when you articulate them, they do move fine. It's just that when you bend them, the material really wrinkles. When you compare them to Anakin's boots, I think they were done a lot better. Obi-Wan's just looks a bit cheaper, I think, from my point of view. Moving on up, you get his Jedi pants, which are pretty nice. And then from there, we also get his Jedi belt. Again, done excellently. Really nice the way everything came out. The belt, the pouches, and every little detail. And his inner tunic is also done very nicely. I think it's very accurate to how it was done in the movie. So props to Hot Toys for that. And as per usual with any Hot Toys figure or Sith figure, he does come with a robe. As you saw him wearing it in the beginning of the video, it was done really good, no real complaints about it. The only thing that I think they did a little bit better on this robe than the Anakin robe is that they actually gave it some lining on the inside this time. I think it's because they don't want the robe to stain the hands, so that's why they gave it the lining. Because the Anakin figure had that problem. If the robe came into contact with any of his hands, they would stain them. I'm talking about his normal hands, and not his gloved hands. So it's a good thing that they did that with Obi-Wan's robe. And another thing that's different from the Anakin robe, there is no wire running through the hood of the robe. The only wire that I found is running through the collar area of the robe. So you can bend that one however you want. But as far as the hood goes, there are no wires running through that. So basically you have to fix it however you can without the help of a wire. I prefer the hood have wire running through it because from my point of view, it's harder to get the hood looking like it's sitting naturally. I mean, I'm not saying that the Anakin robe is any better with the wire running through it, because you still have to be patient and keep playing around with it until it sits naturally on Anakin's head. If you have him posed with the hood up, it does take some time, but I think that it would be harder to pose it without the wire. And because of people complaining that they should have just taken out the wire, and Hot Toys listened to them, and that's exactly what they did. They took the wire out. But in my opinion, it's worse without the wire. But that's not really Hot Toys' fault. I blame it on the overall view of all the collectors put together. The ones that complained about the wire running through the hood. So I'm not going to take a point off because of that. So the score for the outfit of Obi-Wan gets a 10 out of 10. And to talk you guys through this pose, you should all recognize where this comes from. It's the epic fight between both of them and when they're trying to use the Force to push each other. And the Force ends up exploding and sending both of them to different parts of the room. Alright, so stick with me guys and we'll continue on with the rest of the review. Okay, now we've made it to the category of articulation. But before we talk about that, just want to run you guys through this pose. All of you should know where this is from and where it's based off of. When they're all trying to get off the Separatist Star Cruiser in the beginning of the movie. And Anakin is carrying Obi-Wan unconscious on his back. Alright, so articulation. It's basically your standard Hot Toys True Type body. I believe it's the TTM 21 narrow shoulder body, or it's based off of that. So, you know, it's got all of your standard articulation basically. Starting off from the top with the head, it's a ball and socket joint on the bottom of the neck. You can pretty much turn a full 360 degrees all the way around. Good pivot side to side. And he can look up pretty good, and he can look down pretty good. Moving on down to the shoulders, you get good shoulder shrug. Butterfly joints, he does have that. You can pretty much make his arms go past 90 degrees when you pull them outward. And you can also rotate them a full 300 degrees upward and downward. He's got double bend elbows. And you get standard Hot Toys wrist pegs. He's got good ab crunch. Good side to side movement. He can lean back pretty decently as well. And he's got pretty good twists. And moving on down from there to the thighs, he can kick all the way up about 90 degrees. He can do the splits, but the pants hinders you from doing the full splits. Basically the same as Anakin if you own him. Moving on down from there, he's got double bend knees, and the thighs also have swivel. Really good, actually. And moving on down to the ankles, you get good articulation on the ankles. They pivot a little bit and they go up and down pretty good. He can pretty much stand up on his own, but because of the pivot, you can't get his feet to be planted firmly on the ground. When you kick backwards where the thigh meets the hip, it's pretty average. You can kick back slightly. And that's about it for the articulation. So yeah, all in all, it's pretty good. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. The only hindrances are from the clothing, and that's pretty much it. It's highly articulated. Alright, so stick with me guys, and we'll go to the last category and round up the scores. Alright, so we made it to the final category, which is accessories. And we'll start off with the hands. We get a total of 8 hands and 1 light up lightsaber arm. So you get a pair of relaxed hands that come on the figure out of the packaging. You get a pair of force pushing hands. You get 1 hand as a Jedi stance type hand. You get 2 hands for gripping the lightsaber. I got 1 of them on the figure right now. And you get 1 left hand for holding the droid collar or comlink. You also get a spare pair of wrist pegs. You get all of these severed pieces of a battle droid. And they're all done really nice. They did put some detail in there. You can see the inner workings of the droid. You could see the scorch marks from the lightsaber that went through the body. Like if it was melted, you can see the heat. And here's the headpiece of said droid. Again with the scorch marks of the lightsaber. And you can see some of the inner workings. Real nice. And you also get the left arm of the battle droid. And it's still holding the blaster rifle. All of these pieces are solid plastic. Real nice. And then we get the non-light up lightsaber. This lightsaber is very reminiscent to the one Obi-Wan had in A New Hope, Episode 4, with minimum differences. It's not the same lightsaber that Obi-Wan had in Episodes 1 and 2. It's definitely different. So I guess after Episode 2, he constructed a different looking one, which is this one. And it also comes with 2 attachable pieces. I have the short one installed in it right now. You put the short one in when he's holding it, basically, and you use the longer one when you want to attach it to his belt. And then we get the droid collar or comlink. This is what Obi-Wan uses when he's communicating with R2-D2 when they were on the Separatist Star Cruiser in the beginning of the movie. And then we get an extra pair of buttons just in case the ones on his belt fall off and you lose them. And then, I don't know if you would count it, but then you also get the lightsaber blade. And then you also get the lightsaber swooshing effect, which is pretty standard for all Hot Toys lightsaber wielding characters. And then we also get the base cards for the stands of the figures. This one is supposed to be based off of the balcony on Mustafar. And this one is based off of the sands of Tatooine. A lot of people say that it can also represent the dirt from Utapau, but no, I don't believe so, because the dirt from Utapau is a lot darker color. It's not a sandy color like this. It's like a really dark brown. Another reason why I don't think that this is supposed to represent the dirt from Utapau is Obi-Wan never actually physically stepped foot on the dirt of Utapau. At least when we see him on screen. Whenever he was on the dirt of Utapau, he was either riding that big, long, lizard-like type creature, or when he hitched a ride on General Grievous's circular type vehicle. All the other times where Obi-Wan was actually standing on Utapau's surface, he was either on a landing platform or he was inside the secret separatist base, like when he was fighting General Grievous. And there was no dirt in there. So I don't believe that that's supposed to represent the dirt from Utapau. And then finally we have the base. It's a pretty standard rectangular base that is pretty common for most of the Star Wars Hot Toys figures. And then we also get the robe, which I already went over in the outfit section. And he also comes with an instruction manual that I don't have out right now. I left it in the box. But as I always mention in all of my reviews, make sure you go through those instruction manuals, guys. And that's it. So yeah, a good amount of accessories. And if you get the deluxe version, you get a holographic table with 2 hologram images of Anakin and Darth Sidious. And you also get a baby Luke Skywalker. But like I said, this is the standard edition, so it doesn't come with any of that. Like I said before, I could do without those accessories. They don't seem necessary. It'd be nice to have them, but like I said before, the holographic table just takes up too much space. So yeah, I could do without that. Can't think of anything else it could have come with. So, on the accessories, I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. It comes with more than enough hands. I'm actually kind of puzzled for one thing, because Obi-Wan didn't come with a pair of fists, whereas Anakin did, and Anakin didn't come with a pair of relaxed hands, whereas Obi-Wan did. You would think that they'd have the same gesturing hands, such as this one that Anakin has right now, but Obi-Wan doesn't come with this hand. They both do come with these kinds of hands, the force pushing hands, and they both come with lightsaber gripping hands. But everything else is different. I guess that's fine because it makes them unique to each character. So to round up the score, guys, this figure gets a possible 52 out of 60. So not bad. The areas where it suffered most were packaging and likeness. But all in all, it's a good figure. I definitely recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan. So that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to ring the bell icon for all the notifications of all my latest videos. And that's another review done and in the bag. So until next time, guys, I shall catch you on the flip side. Alright, bye guys.